What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about DogeCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And let's get into it. Let's do this thing, okay? Here we are at about 20 cents. Right now, DogeCoin chilling at 20, holding right there. It's kind of a psychological level of support, wouldn't it be? Let's see on this weekly closing low here. I also want to get the wick closing lows, or the wick. It's not a closing low, just the wicking low. The wick low, finding support at a prior area of resistance here, kind of in this area of resistance here. Closing low at these areas of resistance there. Nice. Going back, keep on going, keep on going. Yes, yes, okay. Yeah, good. So somewhat of a significant area, right? It's not the most precise, not the cleanest, but something relevantly significant that you could find support on. If we look at this relative low here, speaking of relevance, to this high here, come on now, there we go. We've bounced right off the 0.5. Interesting. Okay, Dogecoin right at its 0.5. Does Dogecoin like its 0.5? There's a couple cryptos that do, and Dogecoin might be one of them. Let me just see real quick. I want to just a random one here. This will tell us everything we need to know, maybe. Look at that. You found support on your 0.5. I think Dogecoin is one of those cryptos. A lot of cryptos lately like to find support on their 0.5, but Dogecoin specifically, I think throughout its history, it does have this affliction. Look at that. Or not affliction, a love for the 0.5. Inevitably, it went lower. Of course, it did here, but just saying, that 0.5 comes up time and time again, if I remember correctly, in Dogecoin's life. I'm not going to go through every example, but let's just move on with ourselves, okay? I'm boring myself already. On the daily time frame here, you're firmly entrenched in a downtrend on the daily RSI. Lower highs, lower lows, the whole shebang. You even have, hold on now, you even have a bit of a double bottom look here, but it's still a lower low to some degree. If we look at the price action, dramatically lower low here. I would say that because you're not only in a downtrend, but you're in the oversold zone, I would say that you're coming to the end of this downtrend in your daily RSI. I would think that once you break out of this, that would likely signal a move up for Dogecoin to see its next phases, right? What do I mean by next phases? I mean something that's above 48 cents, likely onwards and upwards to new all-time highs. That's what I'm expecting. Make no mistake, guys. You started this downtrend in the daily RSI, just like a lot of cryptos, once you started consolidating back here at the end of November, middle of November. Ever since then, you've been in the downtrend in the RSI. When you break out of the downtrend, I'm assuming you'll break out of the price downtrend and you will expand to the next areas. When Dogecoin moves up, it only knows one pace, okay? I don't care if you're in a bear market or if you're in a bull market. When this thing moves up, it moves up in a phenomenal amount. It might not look big, but look at this. In a 4-week span, from this low to this high, Dogecoin moved up 118%, right? It only knows one pace when it moves up. I'm not talking about moving sideways. I'm talking about when it moves up. It only knows one pace, and it's very, very fast. Throughout its whole history, that's how it is. It's boring, it's boring, it's boring. It depresses you. People laugh at you for investing in Dogecoin. You're dumb. It's a meme. It's a joke. Absolutely not. It's not a meme, it's the meme. It's the reason why any memes have relevance this cycle is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is the reason why Shiba had such a phenomenal cycle last cycle, right? If it wasn't for Dogecoin, Shiba would have been absolutely irrelevant. And then because of the shenanigans that happened with Shiba and by extension Dogecoin, that allowed for the whole meme coin space to really get a boost this cycle. I think we are seeing a bit of what seems to be a formation in here. If I can actually draw, it might be easier without the magnet. Let me see, a formation of like a parabolic trend. Can I draw? Oh, I'm so close, but something like that. You can see it, right? This parabolic trend might be ensuing with Dogecoin. And if that's the case, with parabolic trends, you guys, you tend to only get stronger as the trend continues, right? The dumps get bigger, the pumps get bigger, okay? And if we are to expand out of this, and I think we will soon, because we're about to break out of that daily downtrend in the RSI. Remember, now we're on the weekly time frame. It's different. Okay, we'll go over the weekly RSI in a second. But if we are to expand out of this, we're at 20 cents now. The expectation at a minimum would be about 63 cents. But generally speaking, with Dogecoin, you don't stop at your minimum expectations. No, if we're in a parabolic trend and you see a move that's stronger than your last move, which I expect that Dogecoin's about to pull off its strongest move of the cycle, I'm not going to measure from the low. I'm just going to measure from where the move started. From that low point to this high point here, let's assume that this move started here at the very, very low. We'll not even go from this current price. I want to be as conservative as possible. That would put you at 79 cents. That would put you at new all-time highs. That would put you right there at new all-time highs. My thoughts are, if you see a stronger move than the last move and it takes you to new all-time highs, you're probably not going to stop right above your all-time highs. You will probably go a little bit through them to some degree, to some significant degree. So what would be a good target that's right through your current all-time highs? Well, let's take the all-time high for one and put it at the low. There's a minimum target here that makes sense at about $1.54. Maybe that's where you go. And what I'm talking about is not the end of the cycle. These are end of April targets, if not maybe even early May. I've started accepting that this move. It's not that I'm pushing targets back into May. All the targets I've had for the end of April are still there. I just accept that we could also see higher targets across the space than what I've been anticipating, because I think this move might prolong itself into May. And if that's the case, all my April targets stand the same. But I think that this thing definitely has the chance to see targets at $1.54. If not by the end of April, maybe sometime in very early May. But I think $1.15, $1.30, something like that makes sense to me. You know, that would be the likely area, if not at least 88 cents. That makes sense to me, because again, you wouldn't stop right above your all-time high. This is already pretty close to right above your all-time high, but that's your golden ratio off of this relative fib here from a high to a low. I wonder, did you find resistance at this golden ratio? That looks like the 1886 high to low. Oh, it's right at the 1618, 1886. It's a little bit in between. Okay. So, I mean, hey, if you did that same thing here, maybe you move up to $1. And $1 is very psychologically significant, right? That's a good area to find resistance at. It would make sense that you might go there. Yeah, and then everybody panics, right? Dogecoin finds resistance at $1, it moves down. It's the same narrative as what Bitcoin's doing with 100K, right? If you find resistance there and you move down, it's like, oh, the cycle's over. You found resistance at $1, and that means something. No, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a number. It's just a number. We give it relevance, and then really, if you consolidate, you find higher lows, you're in good shape anyways, right? It's not a big deal. But ultimately, yes, you're at 20 cents now. Dogecoin, I suspect over the next 2 months, if not less time, you're going to move up over 400%, if not at least around there. That's what my thoughts are. My expectation, my genuine expectation would be that Dogecoin sees prices around $1.15 to $1.30 by the end of April. 542% to 617%. That's a 6.5x move to a 7.17x move. Maybe as high as about $1.50 to $1.60 sometime in May. That could happen as well. But at that point, somewhere in this area, and likely $1.15 to $1.30, somewhere in this area, we will begin our next consolidation phase. What do I mean by consolidation phase? I mean exactly what we did here in December until now, right? And it doesn't have to be this long. In fact, I interpret that the next consolidation phase will be dramatically smaller, maybe something on this kind of scale, not from a high to a low, but just in time. I think that it'll be smaller. And then we will continue onwards and upwards from there, right? Dogecoin, you guys, every single cycle it's had has broken above its 1618 from its prior cycle highs to its bear cycle lows, okay? Cycle high to cycle low here, you got right above the 1618. That was your bull cycle high right there. If we go to the bull cycle high of this cycle, from the cycle high in 2017 to the cycle low there in 2020, if I can get it, come on now. Cycle high, come on now. Moving all the way up, you went just above your 2272, but still that's above the 1618, right? Both times above the 1618. Here, the 1618 that we're talking about, it's not the cycle high to cycle low. This 1618 is just the relative consolidation phase. The 1618 of this cycle high to low puts us all the way up here at about $3.94, which is actually very close to the money zone of this relative fib here, to be completely fair. All these orange lines, whenever I make them orange, they're significant for a reason, right? Golden ratios, money zones, stuff like that, stuff that I generally anticipate you find resistance on or support on most of the time, right? They're very significant lines. And not every line, just because they're not orange, not every line actually is colored in a meaningful way. It's all kind of random. For me, the orange lines and the white lines are the ones that are the most significant, probably. And the 382 to be, there's significance everywhere. The 227, I mean, they're all, the 2618, they're all significant, but I don't want to make them all the same color if they're significant. So I change them so that they don't blend together, right? If they were all the same color, then it wouldn't be as significant seeming. But all I'm trying to say, besides digressing on other topics here, is that likely Dogecoin by the end of the cycle will see prices above $3.94. I believe we will see a $4 Dogecoin price, if not higher, by the end of this cycle. I don't think that we go too much higher than $4. I truthfully don't expect that we get above $5, but I accept it as a possibility, right? Maybe we get up to $6 or something like that, but that would be pushing it. Anybody calling for an $8 Dogecoin or a $23 Dogecoin, I'm not saying it can't ever happen. Doge's fundamentals, its economic fundamentals, literally from a fundamental standpoint, it is more. What's crazy, here's something. I got to look you guys right in the eye for this one, okay? This one has to be said on the big screen. It's almost sad, actually. If it wasn't so laughable, if it wasn't so ironic, this would be sad what I'm about to say. the fundamental economic base for Dogecoin's like principles of inflation and just its whole circulating supply and everything, how it operates, it is more feasible than the US dollar is. And the US dollar, just so you guys know, it's the world reserve currency. Okay? Dogecoin, a meme coin that was made as a joke, is literally better than the US dollar. Yes, it's inflationary. Yes, Dogecoin has an unlimited supply. Yes, my camera is lagging, whatever. But the dollar is inflationary. It has an unlimited supply and it inflates faster. Dogecoin's rate of inflation is actually at a deflationary rate. It's inflationary at a constant rate per amount of Dogecoins, but the percentage of its inflation goes down. It only goes down year over year over year. The dollar, it fluctuates. It goes up, the percentage goes up, it goes down, but they shoot for 2 to 3%. Inevitably, the way that Dogecoin's inflation model works is that it has an asymptotic behavior going to zero. It literally goes to zero. It'll never hit zero, but it'll always forever approach zero. If you don't understand what that means, just understand Dogecoin is inflationary, but as time goes on, it becomes less significant, the rate of inflation, so much so that it will genuinely not even matter. Like how Bitcoin's rate of inflation doesn't even matter at this point, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm just letting you guys know it's ironic, it's sad, it's humorous that this joke meme coin, which has become very serious, it's not just a joke meme coin, it's the joke meme coin. It's become something entirely different than what it started out to be. It is actually better than the US dollar, like from every standpoint, other than the fact that it's not utilized all over the world. But it could be, if we implemented it, it could be, and it actually would retain more value than the US dollar. When the world economists of the globe put this kind of stuff together, that's when the dollar will hyperinflate, man. I'm not saying that they're going to flock to Dogecoin. I'm just saying if this thing is better than the dollar, what would a crypto that's made without the premise of just being a total joke meme, what could something that actually has fundamental potential behind it beyond just what Dogecoin has do in as far as replacing the dollar goes, like Bitcoin or other cryptos? I'm on a whole different thought here, but just saying, if you have a problem with me saying that Dogecoin has potential to see $4 just because you think it's inflationary forever and that's going to demean the value. You need to look past just that, and you need to understand what the dollar does. The dollar's inflationary too at a faster rate. If you have a problem with me saying that I don't think it's going to go to $20 this cycle, but in time I could see that happening, it absolutely will happen. Because while the dollar maintains, they try to achieve a 2 to 3% rate of inflation. If not, oftentimes it actually is higher year over year. Dogecoin's rate of inflation approaches zero. It has asymptotic behavior to zero. It will approach zero forever without reaching zero, but it'll get closer and closer throughout its whole life. Shout out to the math nerds if you know what I'm talking about. 20 cents right now. It's not like a hard concept, but if you never took like calculus, you might not understand. Like that's a foreign language to you. You're like, what the hell is an asymptote? High to low here, very much expecting that we do see prices above 87 cents. I'm very much expecting that we see prices around $1.15, $1.30 by the end of this next move, sometime at the end of April. We could see higher targets pushing into May, but make no mistake, my friends, Dogecoin is in anything but a bearish formation right now. This is a bull flag, right? You've moved up, you've got your flag pole here. Here's your flag itself, it's pointed downwards. If this is a bull flag, then likely you will see a move that is of a similar magnitude to this. This is how you do your bull flags. And that measure move calls for an 80-cent move. But with measure moves on any kind of pattern, it's not a requirement. Oftentimes you do exceed or fall below your measure move without actually hitting it, but somewhere ballpark in that area. It's an idea. So running with the fact that this is an idea, if we take this high to low, again, we put it on there, what lines are close to this idea? Well, we got 71 cents, we got 87 cents. Does that mean that we can't go to $1.13? Absolutely not. But if you're looking at this from a pattern perspective, I suppose it would make the most sense to look at 71.7 to 87.5 cents as our target destination. Me, however, I'm a little more bullish. I think that we do break above $1 and we see like $1.13 to $1.30. And then of course, $4, maybe even a little bit beyond that by the end of the cycle. Some of you might be asking, when is the end of the cycle going to be for Dogecoin? I have no idea. Nobody does. Nobody knows, but we can try. So let's try. Okay, let's try and figure this out. So if we look at Bitcoin here, BTC, USD, new price scale, all-time history index. We're going to log it, put it in logarithmicize it, okay? And we're going to look at a monthly time frame. I don't know why we are so spread out. Let's come back over here. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's because it's on there we go. Take it off the automatic. Take it off that automatic. Let's see. Okay, so Bitcoin during its bull cycle here in 2014, actually it doesn't go back that far. Let's look at it over here, okay? 2014 bull cycle. I know I've got the ribbon on, but just trust me, okay? 2014 bull cycle. I have to go way, way back, you guys. All the way over here. So Bitcoin ended its bull cycle in November 2013. Okay, November 2013. You can see the high, the H up here. It says $1,242. The next month says $1,240. It was $2 shy. So this was the all-time high, November 2013. 2 months later, DogeCoin topped off in January 2014. So DogeCoin actually topped off after Bitcoin by 2 months, okay? And maybe not even a full 2 months, probably like a month, month and a half, something like that. The next cycle, if we look here, Bitcoin topped off when? It topped off here in December 2017. Dogecoin topped off the very following month, okay? The next cycle that we had, our most recent cycle, Dogecoin topped off way before Bitcoin topped off. But to be completely fair, would you say that Bitcoin's cycle ended here or Bitcoin's cycle ended here? To me, the bull cycle ended here. To all the macro indicators, economists in crypto that would agree with what these indicators mean, the bull cycle ended here. This is not bull cycle behavior. This is just crab market behavior, okay? It's just like, I don't know if we actually have this. If we can go back in time, let's see. Yeah, just like this. This wasn't the beginning of the bull cycle. This was. But that was the end of the bear cycle, okay? This wasn't the beginning of the bear cycle, this was, but that was the ending of the bull cycle, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is Bitcoin's bull cycle ended. On a monthly closing basis, it looks like it ended there, but if we put the candles on, it actually ended in April. It ended in April, but Dogecoin, and I know it's confusing here. Let me make these candles a bit different. Let's make them orange for Bitcoin. We'll just make it all orange, okay? Something like that. Something like orange. There we go. So the orange one is Bitcoin, okay? Yes, you can change the color of your candles. Go for it if you want to. It's fun. You can customize your charts a little bit, but Bitcoin here, you just double click on it, right? Just then, that's all you got to do. Bitcoin topped off here in April. Dogecoin I say it topped off, it ended its cycle in April. Dogecoin ended its cycle yet again 1 month later. So when is Dogecoin going to end its cycle? I have no clue, but odds are we'll have a better idea once we know when Bitcoin's topped off. It will likely be a month or two, or probably less than 2 months after Bitcoin tops off. I'm anticipating that Bitcoin tops off in early, if not mid-October of this year. That's what my expectation is. It could be later. It could be until 2026. I accept that as a possibility. I'm becoming more friendly with that now, but I think a lot of people are, so that makes me think October might be it. There's a lot of things that make sense for October to me. But I'm open to the possibility it could extend or that it could be earlier, but I'm thinking October. Let's just say for all intents and purposes there. That would imply that Dogecoin cycle ends in November or December. By what we've seen so far, by the history of its interactions with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto space, that's my expectation. A lot of people, especially the people who their first bull cycle was last cycle, they're going to get this wrong because they're going to think that every crypto, the altcoins topped off before Bitcoin did, and they did technically, but the bull cycle was over, and they actually did top off 1 month after Bitcoin's bull cycle ended. That's when the altcoin markets ended, was 1 month after on average. So that's my expectation. Dogecoin likely tops off sometime later this year, probably late Q4, if not mid Q4. It'll be around a $4 price, if not a little bit above there. I doubt we break above $5. If you're wondering if it's a good time to buy, my answer is, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but my opinion is, yeah, this is, at 20 cents here, finding support at this little shelf here, prior areas of support, prior areas of resistance. We look good on a weekly RSI. We look like we're about to break out to new highs relative on the, or break out of the downtrend on the daily RSI. Weekly RSI here, we're finding support at the same area that we found support last time, the same area we found support before, if I could talk straight. When we found support here, that resulted in a move up, resulted in further movements up. We found support here last time, it resulted in a very phenomenal move up. My whole premise to this video was that this next move will be a move up, and it will be bigger than anything we've seen so far in this cycle. That's my thoughts. That's all I got to say. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.